Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. Tease me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free 50 caliber musket or flintlock pistol with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn more about how we celebrate the 4th of July, all of July. Also, and lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Chipotle beating Q2 estimates, but warns that their margins might be shrinking. Now, pulling up their stock, it looks like, overall, past 5 years, they've been doing exceptionally well. Up about 243%. Go ahead and I'll pull it up right here for us. See, overall, really nice, that's a pretty good stock growth. So, granted, by the time this video is rendered and uploaded, it'll be trading differently, but about $50.83 per share now. Again, none of this is financial advice, although, personally, hindsight's 2020, which I invested years ago, of course. Now, there's a little issue there. You see that really big drop right there? That's not good. Past year, still up 22.68%. Year to date, it's gone up 15%. The past month, down 18.93%. Last week is down about 1%. It's a market cap about $1.4 billion. That's a shame that I didn't see them paying any dividends. A little disappointing for the folks who look for those types of stocks. So, not great news for Chipotle. Now, so this news is brought to us thanks to Reuters and Yahoo Finance. They say, quote, Chipotle tops quarterly estimates, warns of margin pressure going forward. This is by Garthik Van Eyck, as well as Waylon Cunningham, who are writers over there. You can see the cliche Chipotle little logo there. And they say, quote, Chipotle Mexican Grill surpassed Wall Street estimates for quarterly sales and profit on Wednesday as demand for the rice bowls and burritos held up even as prices increased. Shares of the company parted early morning after gains were still 2% higher after executives said Chipotle expects margins to be under pressure over the next couple quarters. The company's restaurant level operating margin rose to 28.9%. from 27.5% a year prior. It said it expects margins to be around 25% though in Q3. Chipotle also said they would buy back $400 million worth of stock, which is a big, again, none of this financial advice, but traditionally speaking, that's when the company thinks, hey, we are going to be worth a lot more in the future. We're going to buy our stock when we see it as it being as on a discount, which again, doing that in and of itself also tends to increase the stock price on average, just industry specific, just kind of good rule of thumb. Now, they say that, quote, the California-based chain has been able to buck a larger slowdown in customer traffic with the U.S. restaurant industry, partially because Chipotle's loyal customers kept returning to its outlets despite inflation and straining household budgets. Which, it reminds me, what was it, the fact that we just passed $1 trillion in U.S. credit card consumer debt? Was it 6 months ago or something like that? Yeah, again, this is a luxury, not a necessity. CEO Brian Nicole says, quote, the second quarter was outstanding as successful brand marketing, including the return of the chicken El Pastor, drove strong demand to our restaurants. I don't even know about that. Unquote. And they say, quote, there's the article going back, the company recorded foot traffic growth of about 17% during the quarter. Really? Outperforming the wider fast food and quick service restaurant category, which only increased 0.363%. Chipotle's comparable sales rose 11.1% the second quarter, compared to the analyst estimates of 9%. According to LSEG data. So they've been doing pretty darn good when most restaurants are, closing their doors, shuttering, and no longer able to operate, especially in California, where California passed a law. Yeah, we think it would be good to have $20 minimum wage for fast food. Yeah, they lost about 10,000 jobs a couple weeks after that. Yet another political blunder of the state of California. Now with Chipotle, half the social media articles seem to be about people complaining that the portion size has gotten just smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, granted, anecdotally speaking, the last time I went to Chipotle was probably 2000, was it? Well, no. 2015, I think was the last time I went there. And at the time, they're comically large. They gave you all the food you could possibly want at a pretty affordable price. But I have friends who still shop at Chipotle, or Chipotle, or whatever you want to pronounce it. And the number one feedback they always tell me is, topping these portions are getting ridiculous. They're just shaving away more and more and more and upcharging you every chance they get. So I'm actually astonished. In spite of that, people still keep going back to buy more and more and more of it. In spite of record high inflation and economic and political uncertainty, and people having less extra money to spend around. So I'm actually pretty impressed Chipotle continues to increase their sales in spite of all of that. And I think they're going to increase the portion size to push back on some of the perception, or not perception, just the consumer pushback in that regard. So that might be one of the contributing factors that's going to eat away at their future margins. But let me know in the comments. When's the last time you actually went to Chipotle? I mean, do you think does it still taste the same as it did in the past? And do you think, at least in your experiences, has the portions also decreased? As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.